Hello, beautiful beings. This is a timeless love reading for those of you who may be going on initial dates or had just started dating someone and trying to figure out where this is leading to. For those who have a crush on someone, or some people who are in long-term relationships, that's going to be a separate reading from this. So what this will be taking a look at is your hopes for what this is going to be. It's going to be looking at their hopes of what this is going to be. Maybe not hopes, their view of what this is going to be, and then some advice from the universe. So what we have here for you is foggy bog, patience. So in terms of what you're hoping from this, it's almost as if you don't know yourself. And you need to have some patience with the situation and with yourself as well, and kind of get clear on what it is that you want. Let's look into that a little bit more of what's causing this foggy bog. You have the Page of Wands, which is kind of like you are wanting to explore a little bit. Adventure. Maybe you have a certain kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Fire burning. Now, a certain confidence or sassiness about you that you are possibly trying to explore and see what that can bring you. And you have the King of Wands. So I do feel for some of you, it's as if you are wanting to see if you can do better. For others of you, it's as if you might want to not necessarily do better with another relationship, but for yourself, but that results in you getting a higher caliber person. So let's see what else we have here. We have the Seven of Wands. So yeah, I feel like it's really about your motivation, your passion. Like, you have this opportunity to kind of almost reinvent yourself with this person, to kind of make yourself whatever you want. But then you are looking at, well, that takes effort, and if this person starts being interested or they start losing interest, it's almost as if I'm gonna have to like put in more effort. So yeah, I can see why there's a need for patience. Right now you're just going off of pure excitement and adrenaline. So let's look at the Seven of Wands a little bit. You have the Three of Wands. So here you're thinking, if it doesn't work out, then I'm going to have to go back and look at what my potential is and put in that effort. And although it could lead to really good things, it's also that extra kind of work and needing to go through the whole routine again. So it's almost as if you're you kind of want to put all your eggs in this basket, but you know it's not a good idea. So let's take a look at this King of Wands. you have the Knight of Pentacles, which is about reputation, reliability, responsibility, hard work, and that's what I kind of see is this is the effort you're concerned about having to put in. Let's take a look at the Page of Wands. You have the Six of Wands. So yeah, it's kind of sticking in that category of what I was saying. You're really interested in seeing where your sass, self-expression might take you. You're thinking that you could really get a lot of attention, and in terms of either wanting to be the best version of yourself or get someone's attention who's the best version of themselves, is kind of, you're interested in that possibility, but it'll take work, and you really don't want to put in the work for the wrong person also too. So what this person is kind of viewing this situation as, we have Mason Jar, mentorship, protection. So this card is really kind of tells the story about people not wanting to waste anything and preserving things in a jar to have at a later date when things are scarce. If this is the way that other person is looking at your relationship, it doesn't sound that great. So let's look into this Mason jar. What's in there? You have the Three of Pentacles and the Emperor. And what else? The Empress. I mean, that is really power couple energy there. Another thing about this Mason jar thing, it actually, seeing the Emperor and Empress reminded me that the concept is really like the parents would teach their kids how to preserve foods more so than that you would teach them how to like read or write, because it was a way of what's the word? They were teaching their children how to protect themselves from starvation. And here with this Emperor and Empress, it's almost as if they have everything. They have it all. And this other person is looking at, you know, how they can get there using's a bad word, but it's almost appropriate here, using other people's resources, which doesn't sound that great either. Let me take a look at further at this Three of Pentacles. You have the Four of Cups. So this person doesn't really seem too excited, kind of expecting something else better to come along. Let's look at the Emperor. We have the Sun. Let's look at the Empress. You have the Hanged Man. So it's really, to me, this other person is viewing the situation as they want to make sure they're still kind of top dog in their world. They have like a good view of themselves. It's almost like the Sun and the Emperor is about vanity, and with the Hangman and the Empress, it's interesting because if you look at the numerology, the Hangman is the number 12, 1 plus 2 is 3, and there's a lot of kind of literature out there about how they're in the same vein of creation. So with the Empress, it's about creating abundance, having the ability to create life, creating passion, having like your wants met, all your needs fulfilled, where the Hangman is about creating a higher sense of self, and is also about kind of in that process, it also has to do with the ego, because it's as if the Hangman is surrendering so that they can see things from a different perspective and almost face their ego head on. So I'm kind of sensing this individual here is really looking at this potential from their own vantage point, which is similar because it seems that you are as well. Let's take a look at the advice from the universe. You have Lord Ganesh, infinite abundance. Obstacles are being removed. Spiritual support and connections are increasing. So it's interesting about this Lord Ganesh. In the guidebook, it talked about how people see this as someone who can help steer through obstacles, that like taxi drivers really honor this god as helping them weave in and out of traffic. So here, I don't see this relationship as, you know, obstacles being removed so you can be together. It's basically you're going to need to navigate through this. You're going to have patience, like the Hangman over here. You're going to have to have patience and figure out what it is that you want. This individual is really going to have to, you know, look at things without the ego. And we're going to get some cards here. You know, I'm going to see what this infinite abundance advice is about. You have the Hermit. You have the Strength card. And you have the Two of Swords. So, the Hermit is all about inner wisdom, going on a lone journey, shining that lantern of knowledge, and it's a journey done on their own, but there's a lot of obstacles there, and there is a kind of a spiritual guidance for the Hermit. With a Strength card, it's about kind of gentle molding is the way I see the Maiden here. It's like gentle touch to kind of place the jaws of the lion in a certain spot. And it's about give and take. And with the Two of Swords, it's a stalemate. There's really places, you can see those rocks behind that individual in the water, places to go that this person can't yet see, maybe because of the foggy bog going on, or the blindfold. So let's take a look at this Two of Swords a little bit more. You have the Moon card. It means go hand in hand. in the sense that someone is going, you know, on a path or on a journey where there's not a lot of clarity. The foggy bog is really making it so that they have to rely on their intuition. And if there's too much self-doubt, then fear and anxiety start creating imagined obstacles and monsters there. So I'm kind of sensing that you have a lot of confidence or potential for confidence, so hold on to that and use that to allow yourself to rely a little bit more on your intuition. Let's see what the Strength card has. You have the Tower. So yeah, I don't think obstacles are going to be removed until there's this Tower moment. If you are pursuing this relationship, it seems that there's going to be a situation where, you know, the rug's going to be pulled from under one or both of you. So let's check out the Hermit. You have the 8 of Cups. So indicates that the individual walking away is the Hermit. You can see maybe they've been walking so long that their red cloak turned gray. So this is what I have for you at this time. I'm hoping this provides some helpful perspective, and take a look to see what other love readings we have in the future. It'll definitely have a different message. Take care. This is a timeless love reading for people who are single and looking, or maybe they have an initial crush that's going on right now. We're going to be taking a look at some oracle cards to kind of see the condition of your heart before this individual comes into your life or has come into your life, and the lesson that you will be learning from this individual or from this experience, and some advice from the universe. So we have here, in terms of the condition of your heart, Crystal Cave Trust. So this is basically indicates your heart was in a place where it felt protected, where it felt loved, and is in a good place to trust. So let's take a look at that before we check out the other tarot cards here. So let's see what that trust is all about. You have the Hierophant here. So maybe you have been working on your spirituality, or going to a counselor, or just kind of seeing the connection between you and the entire universe, everything around you. Let's see what else we got. We have King of Pentacles. So it seems that you really are trying to have characteristics or set certain goals where you know your boundaries. You're setting yourself up in a way where you're going to be taken care of financially, and you're in a place where you can start being a little bit more open. So with the Hierophant and the King of Pentacles, there is a bit of tradition, like rules, a certain, when I think of the Crystal Cave, it's almost like an enclosure of like rock. So let's see if this kind of trust can expand outside of that type of structure. You have the Chariot, which is interesting. The Chariot is related to the astrological sign of Cancer, which they're all about having a safe home. Even though the Chariot is the one that kind of goes off and leaves the city, the village, the town to kind of pursue victory, overcome obstacles, and you know, it's really for the purpose of ensuring that the home is safe. So this trust is almost encasing. You can see here, but the King of Pentacles and the person in the Chariot, it's almost as if they are different versions of the same, in the sense that the King of Pentacles has come back after her journeys being victorious and building that home. So let's take a look a little bit more at the Hierophant here. You have the Four of Wands, which it could be for some of you that you recently received some type of degree, some type of recognition. Maybe you become, gotten a certificate or some type of license in the type of field that you're in, and it's a milestone's been achieved. So definitely you're coming from a place where there have been certain rules and you trusted that you could get ahead following those rules. With the Four of Wands, it's about a new sense of freedom after that, reaching that milestone. So let's take a look at the King of Pentacles. You have the Four of Cups. So it's almost as if setting up what you have externally, there's this kind of void for the emotional aspect. Let's see what we have for the Chariot. We have the Strength card. So you've really been learning lessons about having to leave something of comfort, something that you know and used to and can succeed at, and really needing to trust yourself and be a little bit more courageous to venture outside of those kind of walls. It seems like you're ready for it, but that's just the basis for this next step of actually having someone come into your life to get those cup emotions stirring and learning some lessons. So what you have here is the Salamander Infinity Reinvention. So the Salamander is about the Wands family, fire. Salamander, the Ouroboros is, kind of like biting their own tail. And that's also, I believe, on the belt, the Magician. So let's take a look at these lessons that you're going to learn here. You have the Nine of Pentacles, which indicates, more material success, confidence. You have the Magician with the Ouroboros belt, and you have Temperance. which is about a couple of things. It's about balance, moderation. It's also about taking the past, blending it, mixing it with the present, and creating the future that you want. So I think that this magician in the middle of these two is that you have this kind of not lonely alone, but independence, and you have the ability to kind of create what you want. And with the Temperance card, you're really focusing on what it is that you're trying to, it says reinvention on the Salamander card, but it's almost like, what is it that you want to invent? If you look at the angel on this card, their focus and attention and intention are on those cups and the liquid flowing between them, as if by magic, because that's not gravity. That's not how gravity would work. So let's take a look at this Temperance card. You have the 10 of Wands, which is basically a sense of doing way too much, taking on way too lofty of a goal. Let's take a look at the Magician. You have the 6 of Swords, which is a sense of transition and moving on. So let's look at the 9 of Pentacles. You have the Queen of Cups. So what I'm kind of sensing here is whoever is in your sights, it's going to have, you're going to feel a lot, but it's not really going to amount to a long-lasting relationship if there is one. It will just help you refocus on your own independence, and you can continue to focus on that, or you can kind of try and carry too much of a load to make this thing work. But it seems like really it's almost going to show you your limits and what you're able to handle more so than anything. And then here with the advice, you have Krishna, devotion, trust your spiritual guidance, your commitment has been recognized, you are loved unconditionally. So this is kind of saying you will figure out your way. Just recognize that everyone around you, source, universe, your creator, you are loved. You might not have a long-lasting love, romance relationship going on here, but let's see what else this devotion advice is saying. You have the 3 of Wands. You have the 7 of Cups. And you have the 6 of Cups. So it's really saying you have the potential to do whatever it is that you want, to kind of set your sights higher than what you had before, and also kind of looking at potentially, if you have extra time, even though the 6 of Cups is usually like childhood nostalgia, kind of seeing that as doing some community work. So let's look at that 6 of Cups further. You have the Queen of Wands. So it's almost as if you kind of giving back to your community will allow you to be in a place where you feel comfortable, that you feel productive, that your true self is going to start being able to shine. You can see here the Queen of Wands here and the sunflower. Even though in the Six of Cups they're not sunflowers, it's almost as if the Queen of Wands is watching from afar what's going on, and I'm kind of seeing that once you are in this situation where you are like committed to, let's say, a community project, a charitable organization, and you start rising up there and seeing who you are as this independent person in your elements, you will start attracting the type of people that will, you know, flock to you, to your energy. So let's see what's going on with the Seven of Cups. You have the Page of Pentacles. So those options for you, those like choices, it's almost as if you get to, it's like, I think of a kid in a candy shop where they're so excited about the potential. And let's see here, Three of Wands. You have the Eight of Wands. So in terms of your career, you could almost, for some of you, it could be long distance. You could be moving. You could be moving internationally. But taking that step will really open you up and have you kind of step into your true power and your true energy. And that's what this Salamander reinvention card could, this lesson. Like, this is the stepping stone to you actually blazing forward and being the person that you are meant to be. And it's as if once you're there, once you start feeling and owning your Queen of Wands energy, you will be in a better place to meet, you know, potentially your soulmate. So I'm hoping this provides a helpful perspective of your situation, and we'll see you next time. Take care. This is a timeless love reading for those of you in relationships. Not new relationships, but fairly established relationships, and kind of we're trying to figure out what's the next step. So we're going to take a look first at, you know, what's been going on with you lately. You have the Hanged Man. So indicates maybe you've been feeling stuck, feeling that you really aren't, there's something that you used to struggle against and you're not really trying anymore. So see what's going on right now. You have the Queen of Wands. So you're either coming out, or really this being in a suspension has really making you feel like angst and wanting to kind of get out there and be a bit more passionate about life, and kind of see what you can accomplish. Let's take a look at, you know, what might be coming up around the corner. You have the King of Cups. So that could be your person. It could be you. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at you right now, actually. You are in this mindset of wanting to have more control and wanting to have more boundaries, of in the sense of giving it your all, knowing exactly where those boundaries are, and not playing it too safe. In the sense, like, you've already been playing it safe. You've already kind of been, had your hands tied behind your back type of thing. You want to have more control of what emotions you can allow yourself to feel and express and share, and how far you can go. So let's see what's going on with this other individual. I guess that's a sign of some sort. You've got the Ten of Swords. So maybe they have had something going on in their life where they maybe lost a job, lost maybe someone that's close to them, really not doing well in a sense of thinking straight, recognizing what, maybe even what you need. They're really, it could be also that you have had to really support this person while they're going through this. So let's take a look at your hopes and fears with this relationship. You have the Devil. So it's almost as if you are afraid you are going to be stuck, that you will have to really hide a certain sense of who you are, but you also really want to come out of your own shell in a way. So let's take a look at, you know, what's going to happen, not just around the corner, but down the line a little bit here. You have the Page of Wands, which is a sense of self-expression. It's almost where your next step is after the Hangman, of like really wanting to go out there and explore life, explore yourself, express yourself, in terms of how this works out with this King of Cups. It's almost as if you're going to have to be the King of Cups for this individual as they're going through what they're going through. And you have that ability. You have that ability to carry other people's weight on your shoulder. You have that ability to help them up off the floor, because you have been exploring your boundaries. You've been kind of figuring out what you can take, what you can't take. Let me take a look at this Devil a little bit more, because none of these cards really indicate whether, you know, like where things are going, other than you expressing yourself a little bit more. So I need to take a look at what's going on with this Devil. You have the Justice card, which is about doing the right thing, a sense of balance, recognizing there's give and take, there's cause and effect, and it could be that you're willing to do more, put in some more, you know, effort, more time, more patience, so that this individual that you're in a relationship with can kind of pick themselves up. Let's take a look at how that's going to go. You have the Nine of Pentacles. So they will be able to pick themselves up, but really they're going to be at a point where they're independent, but you really are going to help them get there. And let's take a look at what's going on with this King of Cups. So it indicates that there will be a sense of like accomplishment in the emotional sense with this relationship. You will get what you want, which is kind of expressing yourself more. They'll get what they want, which is rising up out of the muck and eventually be to a place where they can stand on their own. And let's take a look here a little bit more at the Page of Wands. And you have the Knight of Wands. So this kind of situation going on right now, it might lead you to a place where you might want to explore a little bit more. And it's almost as if you hold all the cards, as if you're the Emperor here. So let's kind of take a look at that. You have the Eight of Swords. So it's almost two sides of the same coin. You are stable, you have boundaries, you assert your will, and you have like this power authority. And the Eight of Swords, there's the boundaries are the mental boundaries that this person's creating for themselves. They are solid, but it's because they think they can't really go anywhere, and their power, they don't think they have any, but they do. So that's a real kind of interesting view of things. I think ultimately what this Justice card, this Devil card, is kind of hinting at is you are going back and forth between these two positions. And this is, you know, kind of a learning process right now. Any which way you look at it, you are learning from this individual, learning about them, learning about yourself. And let's see what else we can learn from the universe in terms of advice. You have Lady Nada, Heart Awakening. Awaken to acceptance and divine love. Give and receive in balance. So again, another reference to the Justice card here, and it, in terms of this King of Cups, it seems like it's an awakening of your own heart in the sense of what you want to give out, your compassion for others, but also your passion for what it is you want to pursue. So I'm hoping this provides a helpful perspective, at least right now, of what's going on. And check out the next love reading. It definitely will have a different message. So we'll see you next time. Take care.